Odette sits at the table in her and Alexander's temporary home. And she writes on the last pages of a journal that is dated for today, where she writes, "Today's the day I leave home, potentially for the last time. I spoke with Haven, and they have offered sanctuary to the people of the tower. Just, if only I can get them to believe me and believe that they are, in fact, lost." Record through a celebration in my honor. Celebration is in quotation marks. In my honor for slaying the Fell Beast. Fell Beast is also in quotation marks. After smiling and nodding for a day full of praise and gifts I don't deserve, Record has allowed me to borrow a archive of the people of the tower. It is the proof we need. It will do. I fear saying more will put this document in jeopardy. In the meantime, I have been preparing. The people of home have assisted me in creating pamphlets to give to the people of the tower, to direct them to the spot that I need them to go in order to see the people of home as proof, and maybe the people of the tower might feel almost as lost as I do. I'm getting ready to leave now. I have both my lute and my spear. I do not know which one I will be using when the time comes. I hope I made the right decision. And then I close the book. And I am gonna leave it here on the table. I do not know if it will survive, but it's written.
And as the rest of that day goes on, I imagine you rose earlier than most, maybe not sleeping much the night before. The scouts and guards of home that you have conscripted to come with you are prepared, their food and water filled up, knowing that not only do they need to get there and back, but they are hopefully going to have amassed people with them. So bringing rations enough for everyone you hope to survive. The people that aren't as trained are given medicinal equipment and taught how to apply bandages to wounds, those who may need to fight having their spears and their weapons ready. Alexander coming with you, not so much as a person to go onto the tower, but an envoy on the floor for anyone that get off. It's a familiar face, a bit of recognition, hopefully steadying the minds of anyone you can save, and your convoy sets off early in the morning, spending the few days' walk it is to go down Crest's ocean line to the side of the tower you're hoping people will see them from. Not over by Arya's Glade, where the crack would fall and make it hard to access anyone without knowing how to navigate the mountains, but the easier path, though. You have left information in those pamphlets on how to go either direction if needed. And on the morning of the final day, Odette sets off. And where is it she heads to before everyone else can catch up?
Odette flies ahead. That way she can A, scout to make sure the path is safe, and B, she just wants some time to herself, understanding that the day they get to the tower could very well be her final day. And her mind is just ruminating over every decision she's made her entire life, and people's warped perception of her, either the people of the tower, who believed her to be one who could not be believed or listened to, one who was optimistic to a fault, or the people of home who believe that she is their hero, and she is not. And she flies ahead and takes the other route to Comfort's village, which is not where she sent the group.
As you arrive flying overboard, it's not hard to see, as the morning sun is rising, the sunrise almost reflected brighter on the mirror surface that still overlays the ground, casting beautiful shades of orange and purple and red into the morning sky. And you notice that it has seemingly expanded. It's no longer just the small spot where she fell and you had your feet, but seems to have grown, covering the entire ground, the entire range the field had been in. You're not sure if it's an early morning trick of the light or your eyes playing some sort of joke on you, but you see ghostly wisps as though the wheat is blowing once more, as though wind is rushing through, and somehow her spirit remains alive, or perhaps something darker is trying to lure you back. But you see the village standing structurally as you left it, though permanently changed by your actions months ago. What does Odette do?
This was the only stop that she wanted to make, because visiting Arya would be too hard at this point. In her mind, visiting Arya is going to be a thing she does with intent and friendship if she survives this, as she does not want to upset her beforehand. So the only stop she really wanted to make was essentially visiting Comfort's grave, the first person that showed her kindness outside of Alexander in a long, long while. And she lightly lands on the ground at the spot where Comfort died, and where that Cole had been buried. I have tried to keep your lesson at the forefront of my mind since I met you. Always be kind. And I intend to try to keep that. I have faltered. I will try to keep it today. I cannot promise it, because I will do what I must to save the people of the tower. And I do not want to die because of kindness. Not for this. I wanted to extend my apologies one more time, old friend, that I did not accept your entire offer. You were right. I could not have known. And I was trying to be kind and share with you again, like the first meal we shared. I'm sorry, wherever you are, if you are around somewhere. I hope that you are doing well. And I hope to see you again someday, friend. She just kneels down and places her hand on the cool ice. And she stares into it, seeing a different person staring back at her than she had seen the first time this ice formed. And she gets up and walks away.
And as you walk away, do you plan to walk to the tower or fly there?
She will walk there, reversing the steps she took from where she fell. And then once she gets to that spot, she will then fly or walk to where she needs to get to the meeting spot for the rest of the group from home.
Doesn't take too long. Even that first time only took a few hours on foot, but with a sense of direction and purpose, and not just wandering in the hopes of finding something. It's also now a path you've tread before returning. It takes no more than half an hour before the tower is in sight. And there are two things that immediately clock Odette's attention. One of which is the spot you once called home, where your house and Alexander's were, and the other young, working children without any other place to go has been dislodged and is no longer on the tower. The people of that area, however, are the second thing that catch your eye, as very similar to the structure of the interior, a ladder of Odette's neighbors has been extended down, reaching the ground, almost an invitation for anyone who dares to come back, an easy ascent if they can face the people they abandoned.
That sight stops her in her tracks. Absolute grief and devastation on her face. There's that part of her that immediately takes over the fear of what they've become. And as her knees start to buckle, her task shows back up in her mind, and that all I can do now, the only thing I can do now, is make sure that they can move on. She takes a few shaky breaths and continues forward, eyes cast down to not see the horrific sight in front of her.
And do you head towards the meeting spot, or do you head straight to the tower?
I head to the meeting spot.
Okay. not far from the base so that anyone from the west side can still see where it needs to be. A collection of people stand mostly in awe at something they never thought they would see. Some of them a little concerned by the image in front of them, some of them having prepared mentally for the worst. And Alexander at the front of it all, staring with a very broken look on his face. He worked with some of these people. He knew them a lot more, but that's not the only thing crossing his mind, and as you approach, you can see that analytic part running just as much as any emotion he's trying to suppress in front of this crowd of people.
She comes over to everyone and gives the formal greetings to all, and then at Alexander will just pull him into a tight hug and just say into his ear, "I am so sorry."
Yeah. There's something wrong, though.
What?
It shouldn't shake that much.
What do you mean? She
Look
pulls
at
away.
it. And it's to an eye of someone that's not an architect or who hasn't spent their life putting the wires of this building back together. Wouldn't look much more than just the swaying of a building this tall. But as he guides your eye, you see, with the gentle breeze that's passing over right now, the tower is moving far too much. Seems like bits of it are loosened. Maybe bits are rearranged in some way. But the structural integrity is being maintained from an appearance. But Alexander is able to point out this thing is not held together in any meaningful way.
We're running out of time. Okay, I have to go now. And she had pulled away, hands on his shoulders, and she says, "I have to go now." And she pulls him into one more hug and just squeezes very tightly. And just says, "Thank you for everything."
If you fucking die up there, I'm gonna kill you.
I know.
Yeah. So don't do it.
I'm gonna try. And she...
Okay. And he pulls you in like extra tight, using all of the muscle he has to take possibly his last second with you.
She does the same. And then, before she could actually feel the overwhelming emotion, she pulls away and turns towards everyone. Make sure to stay back here. We don't want any falling debris to hit anyone. Looks back at the horrific sight. I don't know what state people will be coming back in, so just please be prepared. And thank you.
You've got this.
Thank you all for everything. And she activates her flight. And she is going to fly up to the lowest accessible level of the tower.
As you fly, getting close enough to have this human ladder in visual, you immediately notice three things. First is their faces, unaltered and awake. These people are alive and aware of what is happening. The second thing you notice is the shifting image on their chest that you have come to know is any attempt to write support's name. probably granting them the life they have now. And the third is stitched into the front of each of their shirts, a flyer, a poster of some kind. I'm not sure if you could tell what it is from your distance, but if you wanted to get closer, it is on every person that is a rung here.
Yeah, she has to see what this is. Because this is clearly a message in and of itself, so she wants to see what is on the flyer.
You see, as it's stitched into their clothes, your face, with the words, "Do not believe her lies. She will be your downfall."
Well, I can't do anything about that now. I will continue.
Okay. Landing on the first floor you can reach, your divinity surges up almost as a protective measure from the malice in the air. There is something here that wants you dead. One of the questions you've often had to consider is, are you far from any god who wishes you harm? You have never been closer to a god who wishes you harm. And instinctively, that bit of just godhood in you reacts. And then you feel a bit steadier as wind is still around you, and you know want is somewhere watching over you. But you know this is hostile environment. And your muscles themselves seem to be reminding you of that with the first step you take. And what does Odette do?
She does not begin by flying or showcasing divinity. She is going to walk amongst the people, and it is immediate action. It is, she has the pamphlets ready, and she's just going to try as best as she can to at least get people to look at what she has and to go and see the people.
Yeah, the people you land amongst as you pull these pamphlets out innately shirk away. Some of them seeing you land here by flight, their attention drawn to something drifts, and then they see who you are. You are going to need to say something very quickly before they run off. Or do something very quickly before they run off.
Oh, gosh. I think the only thing that she can really do is put her hands up in the air in surrender immediately, and she's on the ground. She's not flying anymore. And she just goes, wait, I need your help, please.
Okay. Let's say what you want to say, and then roll to challenge someone dangerous. I know what this sounds like, and I know that it's going to sound hard to believe. But I need you to please, just look. Alexander and I have found other people. We have been lied to all of our lives. The tower is not safe. The tower is falling apart. Yeah, because you did it. The priest said you went in and you broke the central support system.
How could I have done that?
You tell us. Everything was fine before you left.
I fell. I didn't leave. It was not my decision to leave.
Go ahead and roll. Do they care about your opinion? Yes, not in a form of respect, but in a form of really just pure confusion and hatred. Do they think they're stronger than you? Yes.
Yeah, they are.
Are they on your side? No. So you
Great.
get to add a +2 to this.
That's +2.
2d6 +2.
That's an overkill. I rolled a 10.
Okay.
+2, so that is 12.
Oh. So, as you start to argue with them, you feel the shift in the air and eyes immediately upon you. The same eyes you never saw but felt watching you while the bells chimed their chorus. And right above the most dissenting of the audience, a crack and a rock falling. In mere seconds, wiping out about 15 people, the rest starting to run to flee. What do you do?
Oh god, I don't know how to save them. Oh my gosh, I have no idea. She feels that everything everyone has ever said to her against her is true. That she's not going to be able to get anyone to listen to her. That they never have and they never will. And that her face is just showing pure horror at what has just occurred. And oh my gosh.
As you stand there, frozen in fear, I think something very almost cutting through the void that's entering your mind. A small child cries out, "I've lost my mommy. Has anyone seen her?"
Immediately following that voice, to see if it might be a trap, but if there is a child that needs help.
It seems several people are running, stampeding around each other, as typically when a rock falls, a section of the tower will be going with it, and you do see just a young kid standing alone, everyone running around him, looking around, lost.
I'm pushing past people and am going to kneel down to this child and go, "Hey, hi."
Before you reach the child, I would like you to use some sort of move, as they do not want you reaching this child. The people are going to be trying to get you from them.
Well,
it is your choice what you would like to do.
If they're helping the kid, then that's good. Help the kid.
Oh, they're not helping the kid. They're making sure you don't reach the child.
Oh my gosh. What am I doing?
You tell me. Would you like to tempt fate? Would you like to wield a power? Are you maybe getting a little aggressive and inflicting violence? Up to you.
I'm not inflicting violence, because the most I'm doing is the hands on shoulders to create that momentum. I think I'm gonna tempt fate.
Okay. You gain no benefits to this.
Great. That is an 8.
Nate, you reach the child. As much as they are pushing towards you, you have divine adrenaline pumping through your body, and nobody is going to stop you from helping somebody crying out.
Just kneel down as people are stampeding around us, and I mean, hey.
I don't know where she's at.
Okay. What does she look like?
She's got really long brown hair, and she's got blue eyes, and she's tall. And you start hearing another rock cracking above you. What do you do?
I'm gonna say, hey, we're gonna go on a little ride, okay? And I'm going to pick up the kid and propel us out of the way as quickly as possible.
Works. I'm not even going to make you roll for it. You have not mastered, but very closely mastered your flight here, and you're able to bring it out as that rock comes down, hitting right next to the first one, taking probably 10 or so people out with it, and they all look to you, half of them ready to throw you off as your presence is what's causing it, half of them confused as you claimed to have an option. If you are going to sway any of these people, it is your time to do so now.
First, before anything, I'm going to see if there's a woman with long brown hair.
You don't see her.
And I'm just gonna say, hey, just like with the crowd, like what's your name?
Sebastian.
Sebastian, nice to meet you.
Uh,
We're gonna get you to safety, okay?
Okay.
And then
They say you're evil, but you saved me. I don't really care. I want my mommy.
I know. We're gonna try to find her, okay? Okay?
You start hearing a third rock.
I'm going to say, Sebastian, I need you to do something for me right now.
Okay.
Say you're lost.
I'm lost. And he disappears. And the crowd sees a child in your area vanish into the air.
And I'm going to turn to everyone, and I'm going to hold up one of the pamphlets. And I'm going to say, I need you to believe me, this is not me. The tower is falling, and there is only one way to get out at this point. If you need proof, I cannot guarantee your safety. But at the edge of the tower, and I'm going to point in the direction, there are people that are not from the tower. We have found them. You have been lied to. The tower is a god, and it is falling. It is angry.
Go ahead and roll. They care more about your opinion now. I would say that they're still not on your side, but I don't think they think they're stronger than you right now, so you only have a +1. I think the tide of opinion is shifting.
I know.
But it's not collective. So 2d6 +1.
Like, I don't blame them for them being like, you just made a kid disappear, but I don't want that kid to get a rock falling on him right now, so that was more important. Okay, so that's a 9, and you said +1?
Mm-hmm.
That's so mean.
Hey, it's what it is. Some of them start to listen. The ones closest to you grabbing the pamphlet out of your hand, reading quickly, some of them having heard you tell the kid to say it's lost, and it works. But for the most of them, they are too far and too slow, and you can hear almost calling up your mind, this could have been prevented. You could have been their savior, as the floor beneath you falls out, and this section of the tower is falling to the ground with the same velocity Odette once felt. Your natural flight kicking up beneath you so you're not plummeting with them, but if you want to move, that is your choice.
There are people falling with me?
There are people falling, whether you're choosing to fall or not is up to you.
I'm going to fall and grab the nearest person and try to get them. And while they're falling, I'm going to say, I'm going to fall with them. I'm going to say, this is your last chance. Say you're lost.
Okay.
And I'm going to grab one of them if they don't.
Okay. A good smattering of them give it a try. I'd say probably of the 25 remaining people, 10 of them come out of the air. An 11th you grab, another 14.
I know. Yeah.
There is more people on this tier of the tower if you want to try and talk to everyone, but you see how quickly the levels are coming down around you wherever you stand. Where does Odette go? Where do they bring this person?
I'm going to bring them back to any of the people that just watched this fall.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to hand these people a stack of pamphlets and go, if you're not going to do it, then I beg, spread the word. Please.
You see from emerging from the crowd, the people who always know what's happening on the tower, the man you saved after pushing him off, comes up. I know this one. She's a problem, but not our problem. You come with me, and he tries to grab your hand and pull you while this person is handed a stack of pamphlets and starts
I'm gonna
putting
go.
them around.
I'll go with him.
You are pulled into an alleyway as rocks are coming down around you, led to a part you have heard about but never made it to, which is where they're housed, where their artifact center is. It's not just here. The eastern side is collapsing as well. You are a thorn in our side, but you are a thorn that has survived twice now. What do we need to do? And you see coming in 3, 4, 7, 8, 12 people in these trench coats, all of them identical. Some of them you recognize coming in as your contacts, and they seem on your side due to the actions you've had in the past.
She takes a deep breath, trying to keep the adrenaline she has going and the pace she has going. I need pamphlets. I give them the pamphlets because my target's gonna have to change. I have to deal with this. The tower is going to fall. I need you to spread the word. Everyone has to declare that they are lost, and they have to feel it, and they will be safe. And that includes all of you. If you think you don't have a moment left before you die, say it. Say that you're lost, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
You owe us a debt, but we will collect if we see you on the other side.
Understood.
There are stairwells you can use hidden so that nobody can track us. If you would like to use them, they're of yours, but in the state it's at, I'm not sure how smart it would be to navigate between floors when the floors are crushing around them.
Okay. I will try, and if it doesn't work out, then I'll try a different route. And in her mind, she's just like, I knew there were hidden staircases in this stupid place. And she'll follow.
Some of them go to the rest of this level. Some of them ascend with you, heading up. You hear the creaking of stone as you're going, but right now it doesn't seem to get there. Okay. Maybe they'll believe us a bit more if we're not seen with you. So either head out early or wait after we go. Up to you. We're heading now.
Okay.
And they look to see if you're planning to fall back or if you're going to charge ahead.
I am going to fall back because it seems like the damage that's happening is following me. And so I don't want to show up, tons of people die, and then they show up. So I will fall back and let them go.
About 90 seconds later, you hear that they have dispersed enough that you can walk out without being associated with them.
Perfect.
And you come up to what's the second area of the tower, where your original new life started. The not rich but better off districts of families, of merchants, of traders, people who communicate. And you're back in the part of the tower where you found that home with art painted so long ago, knowing it is also no longer here, but you are in a new wave, a more structurally sound one as it doesn't bear so much weight. And I think everything in you knows the center is still where you need to get to.
That's where I'm going to go. I'm going to let them take this part on because I think that my face is not helping with that. And so I will let them do that. And I will head towards the destination. And how successful they are is what's going to determine what's going to happen with me.
Well, as you go, sticking to the side back streets or trying to take a more direct route?
Odette's going to take the routes that she knows, which are between alleyways, and she's going to be doing everything that she is familiar with. So she will be taking that one alley that has the wall over it and and hop over that. Like she's re-energizing herself with the familiarity of this as a way to keep her grounded.
As you do, you start to feel a bit confident. Your land is coming back to you, your navigation of the tower, not the one everyone else never saw, but the one that you used every day. And yeah, parts are missing, but Odette was always used to going over chasms and riding buckets when there was nothing beneath her. And this time, that same option presents itself to you. Do you choose to navigate over one of the open air, or do you try and continue on the more solid ground?
Open air. It's what she's known. It's what she's comfortable with.
Okay. Can I get you to either tempt fate or wield a power, as halfway through the wire snaps and there is nothing keeping you supported? You can either jump to it or rely on your wind to bring you across.
I'm gonna rely on my wind for that part.
Okay.
So,
You've done this before so well. Are you desperate? Not sure. And you're not close to a shrine layer domain, so you get a +1. You can decide if you get a +2 for that additional strain.
I don't quite feel desperate in this situation.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Even if you've fallen before, Odette knows this area. It would make sense why she's not desperate.
That is, however, that's another overkill. That is 5 + 1, or 5 + 1, 10 + 1. That's 11.
Okay. Then, feeling it fall beneath you, your wind kicking up, that you've trained so well to use it for navigation, you've trained so well to use it for carrying. Every time you've had to use it in a panic, it's betrayed you. And it betrays you once again, but not in a way that will let you fall, but whipping that wire around, almost letting a little tornado carry you to wherever you're hoping to go, whether it be your original destination or higher up. But no matter where you're navigating, you are ripping these loose tethers open and things are collapsing around you.
Then, as soon as I get onto ground, I let wind go with a little thank you, and will continue to be relying mostly on my footwork and on what I know versus flying, because I am afraid that I will wreck more things if I rely on the wind too much.
And as you run, you feel that familiar sensation of drive, hope, remembrance surge through you. And I'm going to let you activate your divinity as you're relying on your mortal knowledge to navigate this situation. Even in a time of great crisis, Odette is remaining true to who she is and what kept her going when she believed the most. Not giving in to the side that she knows has changed her, but trying to stay true to who she is. And what's more divinely inspired than that? If you continue on, you will reach the center pedestal, which is where the church has closed off all access to higher levels. You would imagine it's extremely well guarded. Would you head that way, or are you going to try and find some sort of back road, knowing there are staircases now, but having no guide to tell you how to get in?
I'm going to try the back road.
Okay.
Just because it's well guarded. She might be able to take care of that, but she does not want to be the cause for any deaths, any more deaths, if she can avoid it.
You, as always, are welcome to suggest a different, but this sounds as though you are acting impulsively.
I think I'm acting impulsively. I think a lot of this is acting impulsively. We'll do it.
Which one would you like?
I like doing the what advantage do I seize. I think the advantage I seize is that there is in fact a staircase that will help get me to where I need to go with minimal sightings from bad guys, misunderstood guys.
Mm-hmm. From people, residents of the tower. Yeah, and staircase you find You do a great job. You're able to get up. You recognize now some of the internal working that has been kept from you. And when you reach the top, it hit you hard and fast, not in a physical sense, but you hear, "I'm so glad you could come. I can see you again." As Comfort's voice is calling out to you from down a hallway.
She just shakes her head immediately, knowing that this has to be some sort of deception. And she will just try to navigate this space to get where she needs to go. And she's trying to ignore just the tears that have been building and building and building that are just welling up at this point. And in her head, the thing that's keeping her going right now, as devastation has been absolutely built up around her and as deaths are occurring, she just thinks of little Sebastian and how he is okay. So she didn't screw one thing up, and that's her driving force right now.
The tunnel that you come out to is not far off of the presentation chamber you originally saw when you came from an exterior exit. You're not exactly sure where you're at, as you've never been to this like temple stage of the floor. You can hear priests and guards navigating, really well aware that you are on the tower. They see the destruction, they've heard the calls. You hear Comfort's voice ringing out, it's okay. We can make it okay together. And it seems to be coming from the chamber. You're hard to place it, but it's almost as though now divinely inspired again. You can feel a tether to where the heart of the tower is, and you can almost, with your eyes closed, navigate the halls to find that support system where you want to. It's also where you hear Comfort. But Odette has her own choices to make.
Odette will follow, and not because she thinks she's going to see Comfort. She knows that that part is deception and a trap of some sort, but she still needs to get to where that heart is located, and she's going to try to make her way as quietly as possible to not get spotted.
Yeah. I think if you're having that in mind, it's not the hardest thing. When you get to the hallway, the main antechamber, essentially, where all those murals were, it is impossible to not be seen here. It is up to you how much you would like to dash past versus try and safely navigate. A direct run in is possible, and the door is open, almost welcoming someone home. But there are several guards there, and if you run past all of them, they will hit you.
I'm looking at my equipment, but I don't think that a poem from the ocean front is going to help in this time. Or
I don't think so.
Man, she's
No.
really sentimental. She's just not very practical. I'm trying to think of a way to navigate this safely. Because if these guards are in the spot where the mural is, they already know. They already know the truth. So I think she's gonna use wind again and try to propel herself past them as quickly as possible.
Okay. Would you like to use it as a wield or use it to tempt fate?
I would like to use it as a tempt fate for this.
Okay. No one is lending you a hand. I could see an argument that you have no other options based on Odette's belief system. Yes, there are other ways to navigate it, but I could see Odette saying, this is the only way. And you are not at all far from a god who wishes you harm and actively getting closer. So you gain a +1.
God, that's a 12.
A 12. You tell me how you surge into the room, and then I can finish the scene out.
How she surges into the room is she is trying to propel into there as quickly as possible past these guards. So it's not as much, it is flying, but it is a very quick flight, as it's more just a long, quick dive into the room and then deactivating flight because of how quickly she's going, so she doesn't like hit the other wall and like rolls into the room. It's not graceful. It is purely practical. And so it was very quick, and she hits the ground and just like tumbles into the room.
Okay. As you tumble in, you had noticed the guard pattern, all of them aware of the murals, all of them aware of the truth in front of them not necessarily knowing how to read it as it was depicted in half names and broken images, but none of them had faced the interior column. All of them had their backs to whatever was through those open doors. They very easily could not have been aware the doors were open. Seems that they were instructed to never look behind them, only guard the door. And as you fly with godlike speed right between them, they are sucked into it. And their faces in horror, not just at you tumbling through, but the height of the room in here and the size of the people stretched beyond mortal shell to heights, the bells above sizable enough to crush someone if they fell, but pristinely maintained here. But their eyes are most terrified by the creature standing in front of the column. A woman of old age, hunched over, her skin decaying, her face half constructed, half ghostly, her body seemingly stuck between an old woman's and a skeletal corpse with charred flesh hanging off of it. And she reaches out to both of them. I can aid you. It's okay. I can help.
Odette is trying to get them within her eye line and just goes, no, believe me, everything you've been told is a lie. You are lost. You will die here if you do not declare that you are lost right now.
I think you're gonna need to challenge someone again.
My gosh. What are we thinking?
They do not care for your opinion.
Aww.
They no longer believe they're stronger than you, as you literally just knocked the wind out of them, and they are not on your side. I don't think we add anything to this roll.
All right.
Your first flat roll of the day.
That's a 4.
A 4. Your target turns the tables on you with cutting words or very real threats. Suffer too strain to resist the provocations or immediately do something foolish and risky in response. I will set the scene, and then you can decide how you would like to react, whether it is taking the strain or not. As you're saying, you are not safe. Declare yourself lost. You will die here. Comfort says, that is true. She did kill me, and she will kill you. If you would like to end up in a half state like those behind me or myself, she is responsible and will do it to you as well. But if you feel like you need to leave, you can come and I will bless you with the last remaining power I have.
Odette's gonna do something foolish.
What does Odette do?
She's going to... Is the door still open?
The door is still open.
Cool. I would like to try to propel myself forward, push them out, and close the door behind me. Or in front of me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Tell us what it looks like.
It is panic at not wanting more people to turn into this. So even if these two guards can hate her, they can hate her forever. That's not going to be too long. They might still die out in the tower, but at least they won't turn into that. And it is pure, just the same way she had flown past them, she's going to fly towards them and with her arms just at that speed and momentum throw them back out with Wynn's help, and then with Wynn's help again push the door closed so no one else can come in.
The door is not hard to push closed, seeming like it almost is trying to trap all of you in here, but your actions got them out just before. And you hear the hymn start up again as the bells start ringing, and Comfort smiles. Odette, you finally came back. I heard that you I heard your apology and I forgive you. We are friends. We can be together now like you asked. You said you wanted to be together again.
As soon as she closed the door and that echo rings out of the door closing, she still has her hands on it. And then, knowing how little there is of a possibility of the fact that she will ever leave this chamber, and she didn't even appreciate the last bit of sun she got to see, or the last bit of what's left of the river, or the cradle, or the people. And then Comfort starts talking, and she just has her hand still on the door and presses her forehead to it, and is just tears streaming down her face as the first person she's killed is pretending to be here, is here, but in a horrible way. And just that hopeless feeling of not knowing what comes next. And once Comfort is done talking, she lifts up her head and will turn around, shakily straighten her shoulders to try to look more confident than she is, to try to have some dignity in whatever's about to happen, and will actually approach back into the room, knowing that at least 2 people are not going to turn into the tower today.
Mm-hmm. Oh, come here, child.
No.
No. Why not?
You are not her.
Am I not?
No.
I have her memories. I have the thoughts that you're my friend. Isn't that enough?
No, it is
As
not.
you see the face start twisting and then going back to what it was.
You are not her, and you will never be.
Well, Then why have you come if not to see a friend?
Well, I did not come to see comfort. I would rather see what you actually look like.
Oh. Well, that can be arranged. There's a door. You can take it down, but you need the key first.
So my understanding is support is not here in this room.
Support is not here in this room, no.
Excellent.
You would remember from your last time, if the bells are ringing, it means he is here in a capacity, but support's physical body is not here.
Okay. Yes, so there's just this construct in front of me. Odette's gonna try something.
Okay.
Because even she knows this isn't comfort, and it is. If somehow it is that she's warped in a way that is not, she's not comfort anymore. But the part of her that told her, that promised to want, that promised to comfort at Comfort's grave, that she's going to try, at least try, to get through this with kindness. And her main moral, every story deserves to be told. She is going to go towards just a wall, and she's going to get her lute. And she's going to sit down and play a tune that she knows and is familiar to her, but changes the lyrics to be comfort, the poem about comfort within the tower that she had given to Comfort earlier. While it was not explicitly about Comfort, the deity, it does reference Comfort being present within the tower, and there is a representation of Comfort within the tower right here. And she will play, and just very lightly, it's not very beautiful, her voice cracks, it's been a long day, but it is very grounded and human as she just takes in a little bit of familiarity in this very alien chamber.
Okay. As you're playing, it will have an effect on the world. The result of which will depend. Would you like to recognize a god, wield your own power of music, relying on your own divinity, attempt this as a challenge, or try to unleash your divinity here?
I would like to recognize a god here, because what she is trying to do is give recognition and show, even if this isn't comfort here and if this is support, trying to show support that what she's trying to do is uncorrupt him and give back his name.
I think you get all three.
All right. That is a 9 plus 3, so that is a 12.
for a 12. On an overkill, you realize your divinity is actively trespassing against them right now. Seems to work for a moment. Seems almost correct to be playing music in a chamber of a shrine built for honor, for worship, for belief and recognition. The bells are still chiming their haunting melody, but you're able to incorporate it into your playing, able to take this twisted song that continues to ring out and show that it too can be something supportive, something comfortable. And you see the being in front of you, its face continuing to twist, trying to hold some homage together. And you see its body start elongating and falling as though it was never more than a being stretched beyond its shell. And you see a key where its heart should be as the front chasm falls apart before restitching itself back together. And for a second it goes quiet. And then you feel the bells start outpacing you, ringing loudly, not just in here, but with the strength that on each backswing they hit the walls, shaking the support center in the middle, knocking open a doorway hidden not far from you up against a wall. But you're not confident that if they continue to ring, the tremors they're sending out won't do more than anything else, and that the tower will not fall simply because music brought it down.
Seeing that door open and the oppressive sound of the bells, she will scramble up to her feet, and before the bells can even hit and potentially close the door again or cause rubble to fall in front of it, she does not look back. For this horrifying chamber is not something that she wants in her last potential memories, and she would like to keep that room with the music and remembrance in her mind, picturing comfort as she was there instead, and runs through the door before she can chicken out or be too frightened.
Yeah, as you head through this door, it seems to be slightly off its hinge, so it has no way of shutting behind you as much as it may want to. Remember to be kind, my friend. As you go into a dark, unlit stairwell that seems to be heading down.
If my divinity is awakened, is there a slight glow to where I can at least
Sure.
see?
You can say it, there is.
I believe there is. I believe there's a slight light blue glow to her. In daylight, imperceptible. In pure darkness like this, quite obvious. And she's just going to have her hand along the wall as she walks down, and just dread growing. I think her heart is reaching out to want again, as the deep innate desire to get through this and make her final resting place not a place of pure darkness, is having her reach out to her goddess.
Okay. I imagine that would be praying for a guidance. You've already answered what god would answer you. And I think the unclear omens or visions that you're getting are very hard to make out, almost as though, with how full of rage the tower is and how close you are to its heart now as you are descending, Want can't reach you as easily even when you are in the chamber above. But you still see pictures in your mind. You see Alexander standing with about 50 people, all of them not from home, tower residents who have made it to him, whether they landed and somehow survived or they were able to go through safe haven and come out on the other side. You see images of Arya's glade, but not hanging out with her, the spot right outside where you sat with Want and reflected on how beautiful it was, and Want saying that she would love to visit one day, but will only observe, as it would be an act to defy humanity for a god to step there. And you might not even be certain these images are real or coming from her, more your mind creating them in the desperation that she can reach you. But images of the future you wish to see enter into your mind, as hazy and broken as they are. They're there.
She does not know if that was even from Want or if it was her own mind, but to whoever it was, she just whispers to herself, "Thank you." As she's gonna hold on to those images for as long as she can, as she just keeps descending.
And you descend. If your hand wasn't on the wall, you would almost believe that you have been trapped in some sort of loop, same as Wind did in jest all that time ago, but you know through the passage of the stone you can hardly see that it is changing. It is no longer like the sandstone and marble you felt above with its imperfections, but instead it's going to something more unnaturally polished, something wrong. The only time you've seen it this close was when you camped in the eye socket of a dead god, and the sand-blasted bone was there. And you think about the base of the tower, and how nobody can explain how it kept growing out of the ground. But something rose up over the centuries and millennia, and maybe what's been pushing it up is something skeleton. And maybe you've just entered into its spine, ribs, heart. Unsure, but you seem to be in the body of something much larger than you thought was down here.
As that realization hits, she lets go of the walls. As she does not want to encroach further than she already is. Keeps descending, thinking of the few people that she knows have been saved today, and how that's going to have to be enough for her to keep going.
You eventually feel the step beneath you that is no longer a stair, but a forward stretch of ground would be hard, as it has a strange uncertainty to it. It's definitely there and going forward, but it's not well paved, it's not smooth, it's almost something destroyed and crumbling in its own right, but extending forward. Still dark, but you can hear much softer that same melody from above at the end of whatever stretch this is. Not done through clanging bells and raucous melodies, but much gentler, seeming as though it's in its pure form. And hearing it here, you can see how at one point it may have been a lullaby. It may have been a song sung to children when they're scared to help them feel better. Overdone and overworked, its material changed, but in its rarest, most pure form, something that was meant to support the dreams of those who heard it. Echoing at the end of a dark hallway, unlit, beyond any surface you can see.
As she continues to walk forward on the uncertain surface, she hums along, not in surrender or defeat, but in this determination, as this version of the song, in a way, for her is representing an uncorrupted version of support, as it down here is peaceful and beautiful, whereas up there it is a cacophony and horrifying. And she just softly hums along, hoping against all hope that she does not have to take a life today.
And as you walk forward, humming along, the walls gently seem to match your glow. No longer dark, but your soft blue mirroring up along them. And it seems like it's a place built out of not so much still earth and clay as you would expect from something so deep, and also not so much bone and carcass as you know was part of the staircase you came, but it passes gently over walls that seem to be made of water, holding themselves up, almost strange, like grassy sky images on the side. Nothing that would depict tyranny, but images that could have been someone's day, the thing they looked forward to get them through the week, the thing that they believed they would one day find and that they could pass on to the next generation, the things that the river and the sky has taken from you, and that the gods and all of their envy and survival have taken from each other and any hope humanity had for it. But way beneath the earth, you seem to have found an uncorrupted belief that the earth could support the people that lived on it.
As she walks and takes all of this in, she is going to tell her story. In the scenarios where she has felt support in its uncorrupted form, from all the times that Alexander had a meal prepped for her because he knew she didn't eat that day, with nothing expected in return, of the rare acts of kindness of the people within the tower on particularly hard days when everyone was just trying to survive and didn't have much to spare. of the nomads who helped her with absolutely no need and that got nothing in return. And she tells one story after another. She tells a story of a mother and child who stood and listened to one of her songs in its entirety, and while they didn't have anything to give, that moment has stuck with her forever and was gift enough. And she just keeps telling these stories, anything that comes to mind, from the smallest acts to the greatest, of support in its purest form of humanity, and not in what it has become.
And as you walk, arriving mid-story to what seems to be the end of this passageway, there seems to be a wall in front of you, but you can tell it's rippling. It seems not so much a wall, but a veil. And you don't see any other way other than through it.
She looks up one more time, as if she could see the sunlight. Please, I don't want this to be the end. And she walks through.
Okay. As you put your hand towards it, it parts, leaving an Odette-sized hole, easy to walk through. The veil never fully being material, but never fully dispersing. You feel it almost like a mist carried by a wind on a really hot summer's day, press up against your skin, offering a bit of cool to it. You smell grass as it's gently mowed, a smell Odette would never recognize or know, but just something chemically in her relaxes as it feels right. But you also feel the thoughts of every time you've done an act for somebody and they haven't reciprocated. You think back to every small gesture you've done that's been ignored. You feel entering your mind all the thoughts that you can't change anyone, and seeing every moment it was true. And it's a strange fight as something real, tangible, things you've experienced are trying to outrank concepts that you could never have known, things you've never felt other than in this moment, and your mind is trying to comprehend how they can have been from the same source when they feel so distant from each other now. But you're able to pass through. And on the other side, you come to a room, small, cylindrical, with a scroll sitting in the middle, encased in glass, and a man on the other end, staring at you, holding both an instrument of some kind that has been lost, something Odette does not recognize, and also a weapon, ready to see what you're going to do, whether he plans to match you or take advantage of your choice is entirely unclear, and his face as unreadable as the ones you saw supporting the tower. But you have found the unnamed god you've been looking for. Unnamed now, not because you don't know it, but because it's so far gone, you don't think you could pin it to him.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you. You're not what I was expecting.
What were you expecting?
I'm not sure. You're hurting a lot of people.
People are always hurting.
You're killing a lot of people.
People are always dying.
Not like this.
No, in the past they died. By each other's hand. Slowly. Bleeding out, their blood drenching the earth. Their memories the only thing left. By each other's hand. They died from lack of resource, from starvation, from dehydration, forgotten alone on the tops of mountains and cliffs, pushed off by others. Here, they're dying swiftly. But they are fed. They are maintained. They are cared for. And it all can end.
Support is not about reciprocation. It is about helping those with no expectations.
Bold of you to lecture me on what support is about.
Look at what you've become.
Look at what the world has made us both.
I do not want to fight you.
It is not a fight you would win.
The tower must fall.
And what would you have rise from it?
Nothing. The era of this is over. The people are dead. Or not there.
They are very much alive and very present.
The tower is falling apart.
But it hasn't yet to fall.
It will.
And when it does, we can raise a new one.
There will be no one here to raise it.
You have brought several people here.
They will not be here.
Where will they be?
Elsewhere.
And you think they can flee faster than I can bring them in?
Tell me your story. I want to know it from beginning to end.
And then what will you do?
I don't know yet, but I want to know it. Someone should.
In front of you on that pedestal is the original agreement between myself and the founders. I will tell you my story. Then you can do with it as you would like. And then we will both do what we think is right. Is this fair?
I will not be making a formal agreement with you because I have seen how that turned out.
I did not ask you to agree. I asked if it was fair.
I believe so.
Your friend, the one who allows you to fly, the one who guided you along the ocean's edge, the one deeper than we are now, and the one in the sky. They have always been here. They cannot be changed. They cannot be corrupted. They built a world in the hopes that it would outlast even them. And then they filled it with ideas. 2 of them, meant to sustain beyond anything else, giving the cradle itself the power to support anyone in it and comfort those in aid. We are not the oldest of the gods, but we were not born of man and their beliefs. We were born of a world now dead, in its hope to bring about a wish fools granted it. I spent much of my youth bringing about the good in things, erecting structures not unlike this tower, but far from it in purpose. Homes, communities, bringing people together, walking hand in hand with a friend of mine who brought them aid when death came. But as the years passed and time went on, no one was who they were intended to be. That's what happens when you have one purpose. You become it to an extent you are unsure if your actions are driven by who you are or what you're meant to be. And the need of support was carried on in the wake of several of the others. But it was also written down by poets and dreamers. Something meant to be intangible, suddenly given form. And things given form are far easier to change than one would have you believe, as I suspect you are far more aware than most. And his eyes go to your side bag where the book of the tower is being held. I continued to find people and give them what they needed, never asking for thanks in return, never being recognized or noticed. And I do not fault them, as what am I meant to be? Even you said you did not expect me to look like this when you came, and when asked what I should look like, could not identify what I should be. A concept meant to live in your mind, being realized. And as the ages passed, the river dried up. There's only so much of oneself they can give before realizing nobody will give it back. There's only so much you can aid those who came after you before realizing that they will cut you down with the same swiftness that man has cut each other down. Just instead of allowing human blood to pour in and me to absorb their memories, gods, ideas brought to life and killed in less time than I have walked this plane. And when you need someone to know who you are to stay alive, it can be quite difficult for something never meant to be realized. And so I offered what I always offered. In a land decaying, a world dead, people came to me and asked that they could live forever, not in the physical sense, but in that their communities will live on after them, that their children would not hunger, that their families would not be killed by the winter wind or the heat of the sun pressing down on unsheltered, unprotected people. And I granted it to them. You see in front of you that grant. We both are aware of your thoughts on it. But I gave what they asked. Life unending and protection for those who came after. And even that was not enough. As time passed, the secrets of this place were deemed forbidden, horrifying. And I was sealed away in my own temple deep beneath the earth, with the proof it was down here, and those who were meant to join the eternal choir, not given the option, not being told what would matter, until their hubris themselves made it that man could no longer step off of a spot without plummeting to their death, until there was nothing left to pull from the earth except for the bones of the gods that fell before them, and they stranded themselves, always wanting something they never visualized, not thinking of the things they sought to ask for. My story is not one to make you feel upset or joyous or any sort of way. It is a simple, factual recounting. And then one day, a child came about. One who believed there was someone out there looking after them. But I'm not sure that's where my story picks up, or where it ends. As that child stands in front of me now, unwilling to continue the cycle, unwanting of offers given to her, for they do not seem appropriate, and I will not say I cannot see how, but I also will not say that there is an option I am going to present otherwise. You have my story, it is yours to do with as you wish. I believe it's now your move.
So if given another chance, you would. Would you or would you not create another tower and another agreement?
If given another chance, I would find another way to survive.
How?
Would depend. The world is very different than when that agreement was struck. There are fewer of us remaining, fewer vying for power. Some of those who have remained don't need it. They are beyond. Some of them secretive, conniving, evil. Words I'm sure you have ascribed to me, if not in public, in your heart. I cannot say how I would survive, but I can say I will. For as long as somebody believes the cradle can support life, I will find a way to make that true.
You are looking at this all wrong, and I do not blame you. You have had a confusing life. You would have to change who you are at your core, because who you are right now is warping humanity into horrible things. And that does not count as living. It counts as eternal torture. You would have to learn to survive through the acts of kindness people give each other. For as long as humanity survives, there will be that.
And it will flourish in spaces created by the death of my families.
Potentially.
Factually. I felt when Parrish died. I saw when Comfort did.
And I am sorry for that. I am.
It is your move, Odette. The contract stands before you. What would you like to do with it?
There will be no more contract. This was not an agreement made by anyone living today. And that is not fair, and you know it.
They are alive.
No.
I'm not sure it's up to you to define life.
Then how is it up to you?
Their heart still beats. Their mind thinks. Air goes in and out of their lungs. Is that not being alive?
No, it is not.
You have a lot of opinions for one so young.
I want to help you. I do. I will not allow this to continue.
Then break it.
And then what?
And then we will both decide what to do, as were the terms of the suggested, not agreed upon, but deemed fair agreement.
I do not believe this contract should be active anymore, but I don't think it should be erased. It is about humanity's desperation and hubris. It's a lesson. I don't think it should be destroyed, but the agreement should be null.
You have a pen. Strike it out.
And then what?
And then we will both do what we deem is appropriate.
I do not want to fight you.
I have not said we will fight.
But I cannot let you go if you are unwilling to change for better.
You and I both know fighting me is a fight you cannot win. Whether you say that as an act of last desperation or belief in your heart, I can never know, but I choose to believe it is the latter, as I have watched you grow. As mentioned, once something is tangible, it is incredibly hard to undo it. If that is your belief, strike it from the contract.
I'm going to approach the contract.
As you approach, the glass almost slides off. No effort needed from your end. No one barring you from it. Opens, recognizing your divinity as you step near it, and the contract is laid bare in front of you. A single page matching what has been said to you by support.
I am going to pick it up. And just like I do with any piece of paper, I'm going to handle it very gently and reverently. And I do have my quill with me. And instead of striking it out or destroying it, because neither of those feel right, because this is an agreement that was made, it happened. And she thinks about the ever-changing book in her bag and how horrid that seems. She instead turns the contract around to the blank side and is going to write down the same things that she wrote on the way here. Every act of kindness without reciprocation, every time she felt supported or supported others in the smallest ways. She keeps her writing small and fills it as she is desperately trying to show that as long as humanity is alive, there is a pure form of support that can be here and that can be a part of divinity and can be tangible and can be present and can be changed. As she is writing this on the back of the document that changed them. And it is her last act of trying so hard to hold on to what support is supposed to represent and bring that back.
And would you like to try this as sparing? Would you like to use your own divine power and unleash your divinity to put a bit of yourself into these words?
I would like to unleash my divinity for this.
Okay. What do you do?
She is just doing exactly what I had said. The glow within her against her own accord, as this is just her. Everything she is pouring into this. And while there is desperation, there is those feelings she's had. And although there's still those conflicting feelings in her head of unreciprocated support, that she is pushing against that because she doesn't regret trying to support people and have it be unreciprocated. That will never be something she regrets. Doing something right for nothing is still doing the right thing. And in her head, even as she writes this, she thinks of Parrish with that regret of, she believes, making a mistake. And her divinity, she just lightly glows, filling up the space as the words she is imbuing into this contract are given power and hopefully giving form. And I will say, I don't believe that this is brief because this is a process she is doing, and I don't believe it is unstable because she is steadfast in it. I do believe it is obvious in the fact that she is not hiding this. This is happening in front of support, and it is whether he reacts and how, that is his decision.
You see, as you finish writing the last line, and your divinity becomes dormant again, but not gone as it's glowing in the paper in front of you. Support doesn't move, he doesn't act, but he stares forward. And his eyes that were strange green seem to then have threads of blue running through them. It's unclear how much of your words have broken through to who they are at their core. But there is an obvious change, at least in the eyes of support. You have made your move. Now what do we do next?
Well, I believe it's your turn now.
I said we would act together for part 3. I know my intention. I am happy to state it, if you will state yours, though I believe you already have.
I believe I have too. State yours.
We can leave. And I will not make an agreement with you as to how I will survive. But I will survey, and in time decide what is right. And if you, at the end of your days, still believe what you have written there, perhaps your message will have flown into the hearts and minds of others. And perhaps I will be a different person. But if, after all this time, people are exactly who they have always been and are destined to be, I will survive in my own way, and you will not stop me. Is this fair?
You have to learn to shift your focus. I know.
You have to stop telling gods what to do.
No, I won't.
I pray it doesn't get you in more trouble than it already has.
It will.
You see him genuinely smile at your defiance. Maybe a bit of Odette already seeping in faster than she thought it had.
Humans will always be humans. There will always be, especially in the times we're in, there will always be turbulence and violence and betrayals. But it's within those that you have to look, because that is where we come together, and that is where we support each other. You have to look past that and look at the response. There will still be terrible things happening, and terrible things will always happen. But so will good. It just might be harder to see. And you have to focus on that.
I will decide, after observing, if they have changed.
They have not changed, and they will not change.
The fact that you have arrived back here means they have changed. The fact that you had people willing to bring your family, your tower citizens into their own means they have changed. In times of past, when the wars broke out, tribes of man would not welcome each other and would kill each other on sight. You have a great belief, but a profound lack of knowledge. Things outside of your scope will always happen, and they will always be remembered by those of us who saw them. I am aware they have already changed, even if you say they have not, child. And I will watch, for if they do not change back, that is the best outcome. So perhaps you cannot flavor them not changing as an insult to the few of you who have remained, and instead celebrate that you were smart enough not to erase each other.
She nods, understanding. What will you do to the people that are part of this tower?
I will not continue the tower's growth, but I will not speed its destruction. It will not last long.
The people whose hearts still beat, but they do not live.
I'll give them 1 year,
No,
remaining as they are,
no.
and after that, they will rest. I am not compromising on that.
And if anyone else quickens the destruction,
That is their actions.
and then they can move on.
And if they are still there in 1 year, it will fall around them and they will move on.
Okay. I'm guessing you are really
Okay.
wanting to get out of here.
I will leave. Shall we make an agreement to not harm each other? I have seen how quickly you are persuaded, or how accidentally you let others fall. I am aware you know my downfall, which is also how I am aware you know you cannot win this fight. Shall we trust in each other, that we will not come for the other, except potentially in companionship, but not as adversaries?
She takes the spear from its spot on her back that was gifted to her in a mockery from record. She holds it out and drops it, lets it clatter to the ground.
He will take that strange weapon of whatever sort of caliber off his back and do the same.
I cannot trust you, and I cannot forgive you for the harm you've caused. But I
I did not ask you to.
do not wish to cause you more harm.
I shall leave now then. You are welcome to follow or ascend. I care not how you choose to go. You are also welcome to take the piece of paper with you, or leave it here to be forgotten in the bowels of time. I care not what you do, but I will not harm you.
Will you harm those that await?
I am going to learn, and learning takes time.
I recommend staying away from home.
I recommend staying away from home. Champion of the fell beast. If you ever find yourself lacking community, friendship, ally, perhaps we can spend some time together.
I do not need to be lacking in that to want to know more about you and who you are.
And let us leave. And you see the wall behind shift. No longer the strange black cave, but instead just a picture of desert sand. High above you, the sun's warmth coming down. And looking up, you can see walls stretching impossibly high as you are at the base of a crack. And you know what waits at the surface.
She will exit. And we'll look up at the tower. Does it still seem to be swaying?
It's hard to tell as you're at the base of a chasm.
Ah.
The top of it hardly being seen over the top, and the top of it still swaying naturally in the wind, but the rest of it can't be seen from this vantage.
All the adrenaline just leaves, and her shoulders slump down. And she's going to give a nod to support. Goodbye for now. And I believe this is Spare a God at this point.
Go ahead and roll to spare it then. I wasn't sure if you were going to choose neither.
Well, I don't think that's necessarily an option. That is a 7.
Okay.
Oh, jeez.
They look to you, seeing all you have told them, all you have written down, all the belief you had your entire life until you didn't. They see the curse that wrecked your mind as you had to rid it from your own skin using your own power. And they see the loss and the heavy toll taken on you from the death of Parrish, the collapse of the underground, the belief of the people above. There is not much I can offer that will undo any of that. There is not much anyone can do. But you can ask a favor of me, and if it is within my power, I will grant it.
I had difficulty getting the people of the tower to believe me, and I understand why. But if there are any still up there that have ever wished, like I have, to not be there, can you bring them down safely to the people below, or have a way out from the tower if they choose within this next year to leave?
That's doable.
Thank you.
And you see, he puts his hand on the wall of the cracked chasm that you stand at the base of. And you see how he's so in tune with the earth. As him touching it allows it to shape and move. And he just seems to draw a plan for his staircase, winding around. And you can hear the gasps and shock and awe of the people watching the tower, not as anything destructive happens, but from Alexander's point of view, he sees what some of the architects have always dreamed of a staircase wrapping around the base, safely allowing passage on and off. Then back down. With Odette, you see him finish it. He does not sign it. He does not put his name on it. I will go. Farewell.
Farewell.
And disappears, leaving Odette alone.
She stares at where he stood, not entirely comprehending what she just experienced and what she just survived. And she turns back to everyone.
They're still on the surface above.
Oh, I'm really gonna fly
You're
up.
alone.
I'm gonna fly up there.
Okay, just wanted to let you know.
Yeah. Go fly up there. To see, and as she's flying, she thinks of the advice that she gave support, and that support reciprocated back to her of do not go home. Do not go to home. And she thinks about the ever-changing novel in her bag and how dangerous record really is and can be, and knows at this point she cannot return, and that she does not have the means to deal with him because the people of home believe her to be a hero on behalf of him, and the people of the tower need time and supplies and at least a sense of safety. This will not be within her time. And she understands that the remainder of her days will quite likely be mostly alone and a quiet acceptance comes over her as she flies over the chasm and lands in front of the group of people. It is done. The tower will fall in 1 year.
You hear various murmurs, some in support, some thankful, some jarring as they just threw themselves in a blind act of faith to find out that, once again, Odette was wrong, and they had a year that they could have spent collecting their possessions. But ultimately, all of the voices are hushed when the people of home, your champions, silence them and say, let her keep speaking.
There was a high likelihood of the tower falling today, as you all saw, with the destruction. But there is now a staircase. You may go back and retrieve anything you need. You may ask any relatives or friends, or inform them of what's going to happen. And in complete certainty, a year is the most that the tower has. I will do nothing to bring it down. The god that resided in it is not going to do anything to bring it down, but it will fall. So I implore you to inform those above, as I do not believe they will believe me. The people of home will help you. They have supplies. And it is up to you if you want to stay with home or create your own settlement. That was the agreement. I implore you all to work together peacefully and to support each other through this transition. I will check in as needed, but I think it would be better if I was not there to oversee it. This should be something you all do together. Thank you to the people of home for having me. You are all incredibly kind and welcoming. And to the people of the tower, thank you for believing me when it mattered most. I know that was difficult. She goes over to Alexander and she removes this horrible book.
You didn't die.
Yeah.
I don't have to kill you now.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
But it doesn't really sound like you want to go back.
I cannot go back.
Where do you want to go?
I have a few ideas, but I need you to take this back for me. And she hands Alexander that book.
Okay. Are we ever gonna meet up again? You never gave me the concert you said you'd give, and I didn't get to spend a day at the fountain with you.
I don't think that... Can we take a rain check on that? As she knows that if Alexander ever tried to leave to see her, that there would be a problem, and he's practically the poster child right now for helping people of the tower be part of home if that's what they want. And he has friends there. He was thriving there. She cannot bring herself to take him with her, because he'll never be able to go back. Yeah, a rain check.
Yeah, a rain check.
Well,
okay.
I'm gonna go.
Yeah, and I don't think I can say I'll see you later. So I'm going to say goodbye, Odette. And then you'll say hi next time, and that's how conversations work.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.
Goodbye. And she walks away. And I don't know exactly what happens after, but she knows that someday, past her time, there might need to be some people who can fight back. As she can already see history repeating itself of a deity taking over a place under the guise of safety and security, and it becoming incredibly oppressive. And it's slow, and it takes a long time. She leaves hints around the cradle of the truth. And she spends a lot of time writing and imbuing random objects with her divinity and memories of what she's experienced, memories of the truth. And one day, in her last moment, and I don't know if that would be old age or a violent act or peacefully in her sleep after a conversation, the very last act she would ever do, as even in her sleep she clutches that flower from Arya, is release it and give it back to the river, along with any remaining divinity she has, so that one day others may fight back.
And then the last thing Odette sees is a surge of light blue hitting the river, almost looking full before dulling back down, but the river is huge and even a small addition can last millennia. And you're not sure if it's just your fading eyes as some of the ever-falling gray ash turns a little blue and specks fall towards the earth years before it will reach the ground, but something is falling. And then a hand reaches out. I think it's been a long time since this was due.
Hello, old friend.
And Odette's story is finished. Thank you, everyone, for coming on this journey with us.
Thank you.
This has been Godkiller, Songs of the Past. Goodbye.